I've always been really into health and fitness, so much so that I became a personal trainer and a nutritionist, but we'll get into that. I used to be someone who would wake up at like 5 a.m. and do my like quiet journaling time. I would track every macro and I would try every new wellness hack, supplement, fitness studio, whatever that you could think of. And then I had a baby. And I was immediately thrust into this incredible and beautiful, but chaotic and sometimes stressful thing called motherhood, which challenged just about every healthy habit I used to swear by pre having kids. I very quickly realized that I was going to have to recalibrate a bit. And like the true science nerd that I am, I took all of the knowledge that I had from my certifications and my training, everything I had learned as a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a pre and postnatal specialist, and my experiences as a new mom, and I ran it all up against all the research around these wellness habits, essentially to figure out what I wanted to keep and what I could let go of. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the 7 main wellness rules that I used to swear by and why I have let them go for good. If you're new here, my name is Bailey. I'm a certified personal trainer, certified nutritionist, pre and postnatal specialist, and most importantly, I am a mom. I have a 2-year-old daughter at home, almost 2-year-old daughter at home, and I am extremely pregnant, if you cannot tell, with another baby girl on the way. I post videos all about realistic, holistic wellness in the context of the chaos of motherhood. So if that's the kind of thing you're into, I would love for you to subscribe to this channel and say hello in the comments below to all your new mom friends. If you're not new here, welcome back. Okay, so let's talk about the 7 things I stopped doing since becoming a mom that not only saved my sanity, but also helped me dial in on what is truly important when it comes to your health and wellness journey. Everything I'm about to share with you are changes that I made either in my first postpartum season or since then. These are the things that I swear by today. These are the things that I work with my one-on-one clients or I program in my app. They're also the things that helped me lose 45 pounds in 4.5 months postpartum, which I have a whole video about that process. So if you want to learn more about that, I will link that video. Okay, number 1 is waking up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. mornings are so trendy in the wellness space. I don't know what it is. I don't know why we tend to glamorize this idea of like waking up at 5 a.m. Maybe it's just because it's hard to do and it takes discipline. And so being someone who does that, like you feel like you're elevating yourself to some point. I don't know. But doing that when you don't have to do it versus doing that when you do have to do it because you've got a baby to feed or a toddler who won't sleep or whatever, it puts it all in perspective. When your sleep schedule is no longer ruled by your own desires and wants and values and priorities, and instead is ruled by a 7-pound pure bundle of joy, you think about sleep very differently. My firstborn is a perfect little angel baby who I love and adore more than anything in the world, but sleep is not her love language and never has been. And navigating that over the past couple of years has really forced me to take a closer look at sleep and the lack thereof and the impact that that has on my physical, emotional, and mental well-being. We know that sleep is crucial for health, recovery, energy, digestion, hormones, you name it. Research tells us that inadequate sleep can mess with how we regulate hormones like cortisol, leptin, ghrelin, all the things that affect our metabolism and our hunger and our stress levels throughout the day. So while pre-babies, I might have thought it was counterproductive to sleep in instead of getting up early to get my workout in, I now firmly believe that prioritizing sleep where you can is one of the best ways to take care of yourself as a busy mom. You'll know the balance, right? Like you know the difference between when you're not getting any sleep and you're just gonna like squeeze in as much as you can versus when like you're getting decent sleep and you could probably get up early to get that workout in. Like you kind of know which season of life you're in. So if a 5 a.m. workout is still realistic for you and that still suits your lifestyle and you're able to get good sleep outside of that, I think that's great. And I do recommend it. The point is prioritizing sleep when you're not able to get a whole lot of it is way more important than getting up early to squeeze in a workout. So if you, like me, would be sacrificing sleep on the altar of the wellness guru 5 a.m. wake up, just don't do it. Prioritizing rest over rigid routines supports hormone balance, metabolism, energy levels, and your mental health, which is way more important. Okay, number 2 is 60-minute workouts. Listen, I love a good long workout, okay? I'm a personal trainer first and foremost because I really enjoy exercise. I know that may be lame, but it's true. But the idea of being able to carve out 45 minutes or 60 minutes for myself right now is comical. But here's the good news. Short bursts of exercise can be highly effective in moving you towards your health and wellness goals. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that Just 11 minutes of moderate intensity activity daily can significantly reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease and premature death. So those quick little workouts that you can pop in the midst of your schedule, your busy schedule and your mom life, they're doing more than you think. And if you're like, okay, cool, sounds good about the whole not prematurely dying thing, but I also want to just like look better in my jeans. This is still good news for you too, because what it tells us is that you don't need 45 minutes or 60 minutes to get in a good quality workout that can lead to physical changes in your body. In fact, my entire app, which is a fitness and wellness app for moms, does not have a single workout on it that is more than 30 minutes long. Why? Because you don't need it. If you're training smart, if you're training strategically, 30 minutes or less is plenty. In my 45-pound weight loss journey postpartum that I mentioned, I only did 30-minute or less workouts because I didn't have time for anything else or energy, frankly. So the point is 20, 30-minute workouts, if you're being strategic about the type of workouts that you're doing, is plenty to help you reach your goal of feeling better in your jeans or getting your energy levels up or reducing your overall cortisol levels or whatever it is that's on your health and wellness goals. If you want to try out my style of training for yourself, you can snag a free week on the WellMamas app using the link in the description box below. But the main point here is don't knock those quick and dirty workouts you just squeeze in, even if they're ugly, even if you're like not in full workout gear because you didn't have time to change, like they are worth doing and they can help you get results. Quick pause to shout out something that's actually made my at-home workouts so much easier lately, and that is my Yesoul rowing machine, which they were so kind enough to send me. As a busy mom, I love having simple, low-impact ways to get moving right in my house as soon as I have a second to myself. And this has been such a game changer. Whether I use it as a warm-up, a way to mix things up from my usual workouts from the WellMamas app, or just a way to like zone out and burn some calories during nap time, this machine always delivers. The screen rotates, which I love. It makes it easy. And it lets me cast like videos or music or workouts or whatever from my phone. So I can roll along to whatever I'm feeling that day. Pop on a YouTube video, burn some calories, you know? It's also a lot more gentle on my joints than like running on a treadmill, which is super important for me while I'm pregnant and just trying to stay consistent with moving around. Highly recommend if you want to check them out. I'll leave a link and a discount code in the description box below. You too can enjoy fun cardio with Yesoul. They have rowing machines, they have stationary bikes, they have treadmills, so definitely check those out. All right, thank you again to Yesoul, and back to the video. All right, number 3 is cutting out entire food groups. I know I won't be the first person to tell you this, but carbs are not the enemy. And I used to struggle with this a lot. I went through many different dietary seasons, we'll say, where I was really, really strict, or I ate vegan, I ate purely plant-based for a while, or I was very low carb. Like I've been through the docket of different diets that people swear by that will change your body. And from that experience, and as a certified nutritionist, I'm here to tell you that nothing that requires you to cut something out entirely is going to be as supportive for your sustainable long-term health and wellness as just eating a healthy, well-balanced diet. Carbs are not the enemy. Neither is sugar, neither is caffeine, neither is the litany of other things that wellness influencers love to demonize for the sake of having something to say on the internet. Carbs is definitely the one that gets the most hate, I would say. The science doesn't support that a diet extremely low in carbohydrates is good for you at all. Carbs are essential for the production of key female hormones like estrogen and progesterone. And restrictive low carb diets can interrupt your menstrual cycle and mess with your fertility and really mess with your energy levels too. Similarly, sugar and caffeine, while both bad for you in excess, of course, the super restrictive mindset of cutting them out entirely can actually do a lot more harm than good. When we place moral value on certain types of foods, then we lead ourselves very quickly into this cycle of like restriction, shame, possibly binging, and just really negative thought patterns and behavior patterns around food, which we don't want. But when we shift our mindset to thinking, okay, these things aren't bad, they're not off limits for me, but how can I enjoy them while making sure I'm also getting enough protein, getting enough fiber, getting in the right nutrients and minerals in my diet? One of my favorite nutrition tips is to add, not subtract. So if it's the end of the day and you are really craving a handful of mini M&Ms, which maybe this example is projection because that has been a big craving of mine during this pregnancy. It's not about like forcing yourself to not have the mini M&Ms. It's saying, how can I make this a little healthier? So for me, I'll take a container of Greek yogurt, add a little protein powder into it, and then sprinkle in the M&Ms on top and mix them in. I'm adding, not subtracting. So now I've got good protein, good fiber, and the little sweet treat as well. By focusing on what you want to eat more of and not what you should eat less of, I promise you'll be much better set up for success for long-term sustainable health. Okay, number 4 is tracking every macro. Now, listen, I'm not here to hate on tracking macros, actually. I've done it on and off in various seasons of my health and wellness journey. I think it can be really helpful. It's really educational, and it's a great tool for a lot of people in certain seasons. That said, I think it can also lead to stress and restriction and just unhealthy thought patterns when it comes to food for a lot of women. And then for some, the pressure of like precise tracking and hitting your macros every single day can overshadow the idea of eating intuitively, listening to your body, and it can increase your anxiety around food, which obviously we don't want. One of the things I really focus on with the women that I coach is education, because a lot of us don't really understand the macronutrients in all of the foods that we're eating. If it's not something you studied before, there's a good chance that you don't really understand what you're eating all the time. So you may think something's really healthy when in reality it has very little protein or fiber in it, very little nutrition, but it says low calorie on the packaging, so we think it's healthy. A lot of us have been a victim to bad marketing and calorie obsession, and we don't have real meaningful understanding of the things that actually count: protein, fats, carbohydrates, and fiber when it comes to our food choices. For that reason, I do think counting macros for a time can be a helpful tool in helping you learn that. Because after you track for like a week or two and you kind of see what foods you're used to eating and what the macronutrient content of those foods is, that's really informative. That can be really educational and help you make better choices intuitively going forward. But it's not for everyone. And as busy moms, we often do not have the time to get out a food scale, open up an app and type in 6 goldfish and see what the macronutrients of those goldfish are. And that's fine. Instead, we want to focus on eating a well-balanced diet, which is like language you've heard a million times, but what it means is trying to really balance the amount of protein, fat, and carbohydrates that you're eating. So like we mentioned in the last tip, you're not cutting out anything entirely, you're just balancing. You learn as you go, you give yourself grace, try to educate yourself where you can, but focus on what's sustainable for your lifestyle and not try to like force yourself to count macros or count calories or whatever if that's not supportive of where you're at today. All right, number 5 is guilt tripping myself for missing a day. I used to be the never miss a Monday girl. I admit it. It's true. I am no longer that person. And if you've been around my content or seen any of my videos for any length of time, this will not be news to you. The all or nothing mindset is holding you back. Nothing about motherhood lends itself well to an all or nothing mindset. We just cannot have these black and white goals or like this, I have to do everything perfectly and it's got to look this certain way or it's not worth doing at all. Like that mindset is going to keep you from reaching any of your goals. Moms have to be flexible and creative and gritty and constantly recalibrating the chaos that we are approached with each and every day. But rather than allowing that chaos to make us feel like failures against these unrealistic, like have to do all these things, all or nothing mindset goals, we can embrace flexibility and understand that setbacks and redirections, course corrections are just part of the process. And that understanding leads to longer term, much more sustainable, healthy habits than trying to force like a really rigid structure. If you missed your workout yesterday, okay, not a big deal. How about a quick walk this morning to just shake that off and start your day fresh? You had like a really crappy meal over the weekend, it's fine. Take a deep breath, drink some water today, and see how you can get more protein in your lunch. It's not about perfection because that is an impossible goal. You know that, but I'm going to say it again just in case. It's just about showing up for yourself in these small, little, unseen ways day after day after day. And when nobody sees it and nobody's cheering you on and you don't feel like it's actually moving the needle on anything, but you're trusting the process and you're trusting yourself that choosing little moments of health, moment by moment, is going to move the needle in the long run. That's what consistency actually looks like. And that's how you're going to find success with your goals, not all or nothing thinking. That's going to fail you every time. All right, number 6 is forcing gratitude when I don't feel it. I might get some flack for this one, but I'm okay with that. I no longer force myself to feel grateful when I don't. Now, don't misunderstand. Suppressing negative emotions in favor of this like toxic, constant positivity can be super detrimental to your mental health. And for some reason, I think a lot of us as moms feel this pressure to like never miss a moment and cherish every moment and always be grateful. And I get where that's coming from. And I do think it's important to try to help ourselves shift into a place of perspective and a place of gratitude when and where we can. But it is also okay to have a crappy day and not feel the need to like stuff it down and fake your way through it. Acknowledging and processing all of our emotions, good ones and bad ones, rather than dismissing them or ignoring them entirely, leads to much better emotional wellness in the long run. Sometimes you just got to ride that roller coaster and let yourself feel the very real human emotions that your body, brain, mind, soul, heart, whatever was created with the capacity to feel. Finding healthy ways to process your emotions, especially the negative ones, and to set clear boundaries to make sure that you're not projecting those emotions onto your family or your children, or like, make sure that you're creating a safe space for yourself and your kids and your husband and your spouse, whatever. In short, learning how to regulate your own emotions is obviously incredibly important. But none of those things require you to ignore or completely negate how you feel in any given moment. It just requires you to have a little bit more tools in your toolbox for how to deal with them. It's okay to not be okay every now and then, to not love every single aspect of your life and motherhood and whatever else. It doesn't make you a bad mom, doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a human being. You're not alone, and you're better off by acknowledging those things and learning how to work through them and support yourself along the way than if you were to just be like, well, it's fine because I'm grateful for these 3 things. Okay, the last one is trying to fit my life into other people's wellness routines. This is one of the main things I think I've learned over the past couple of years since becoming a mom. And it's one of the main reasons I started this channel and started my company and launched my own app, because I felt like there was this pressure to figure out how to make like single woman wellness stuff work for motherhood. And it was so incongruent that it just drove me crazy. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. Please hear me when I say that you do not need to fit your life into the box of someone else's wellness routine. Even if they swear by it, even if they have the body that you want, even if they're a mom, just because they have something that works for them does not mean that it is definitely going to work for you. And trying to force that is just going to make you feel bad about yourself, make you feel shame, and it's going to make you want to give up. Most wellness content out there, specifically fitness content, was not created with moms in mind. Our lives are different than the 20-something Pilates girls and the fitfluencers with no kids. No hate on them, no shame to them. I'm happy for them, but our lives are different. You have to do what works for you and your circumstances. And it may take some time to figure out what that is, and that's okay. It is also most definitely going to change as your kids grow up and the seasons change, and you go from newborn stage to toddler stage and toddler stage to kid stage, and you have to adapt along the way. But having the mindset that you need to make wellness work for you in this stage of life and not make your life work for wellness or whatever routine you saw on Pinterest that day, that is the key to making this successful. And sticking together with other wellness-minded women who are also fumbling their way through it, like we all are, is key too. Because we get it. We know it's crazy. It's hard out there. We're all just doing our best, taking it one day at a time. So there you have it. Those are the 7 things that I used to swear by, but I've stopped doing since I've had kids, that have had no negative impact on my overall health and wellness. In fact, they've made it better. And not just better, they made it more sustainable. And that's really the goal at the end of the day. Not abs, not perfection, just feeling strong, feeling energized, feeling good about myself, and feeling confident in my ability to work towards my health and wellness goals at any given point. I would love to know what your number one wellness rule that you ditched after having kids is and why. Share that in the comments below. We can all help each other out, get a little bit of inspo going. It'll be great. If you're looking for workouts, meal plans, and mindfulness guides specifically for moms that were actually created with moms in mind, I would love for you to check out the WellMamas app. You can try your first week free using the link in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like because that really supports my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.